Teacher Prix, how can I find the right words when speaking in English? I don't know what happens, but the words disappear. Well, watch this lesson until the end to find out. Hey there, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. If you have already done so, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. You know what to do. Hit the like button because that really supports the channel. Now, guys, this is a common question. Actually, this is a common complaint. A confession. I got another confession to make. It happens a lot to students, especially at the level I help here on my channel. Maybe you don't know me so well, but here on my channel, I help pre-intermediate and intermediate students. My goal is to help students at this level to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months, because at this level, it is possible to achieve a much better level of conversation, much faster compared to a total beginner, okay? But that being said, at this level, you will begin to make longer phrases and talk about more subjects, difficult subjects. As a result, you will need to think faster. You will need to improve what I like to call reaction time. You need to react more quickly. And that's when students get stuck. So it's a combination of factors, and it is not simply vocabulary. It is grammar as well. Your phrases will be longer. Therefore, there are too many things happening at this level, and consequently, you have that feeling that when it's time to speak, you can't because you don't have the right words, the exact words. There is an important observation though. Always thinking of the right words will block you. Just right now at this moment when I stopped, in my brain I was thinking, no, but couldn't I use however? No, but I just said however. Well, couldn't I use this? Couldn't I use that? If you're thinking too much of getting the perfect words, you're blocked. No matter how good your level is, no matter how advanced or how intermediate you are. This will happen to anyone who does that too much. So that being said, this is something that I do with my BSA. And today I will give you 3 recommendations, 3 things that I like doing with my students that I do on myself because I know how efficient they are. My BSA, since the very beginning, when they join my academy, they learn to use what they got. Here is something you need to understand. If every time a conversation ends, you feel like, oh, I didn't do a good job, I didn't have the right words, this will keep happening. So one thing we need to change is the way we practice, and I will recommend, and I will even give you some suggestions of exercises you can do. But my BSA, my students understand and practice paraphrasing, because paraphrasing is the solution to a conversation. I am constantly doing this with my students here on my channel. In every video I make, I am paraphrasing because I don't have the right words all the time. The right words are the ones you remember. Keep that in mind. The right words are the ones you remember. Okay? But let's continue. You need to teach your brain to find quick solutions. And this is something that students don't pay attention to. They keep focusing on the words, but you need to teach your brain to react more quickly. And this is connected with your study routine. I will give you 3 exercise recommendations that will help you find quick solutions. I am live every week. I am constantly here, and I practice that a lot, finding quick solutions. And this is something that students don't value as much. It's not about knowing all the words. It's about being fast. And I have helped people who had amazing vocabulary. They were really good. They had better vocabulary than me. I don't have the best vocabulary in the world. I don't, but I think fast. I find quick solutions. And I prefer to think fast than to have the best vocabulary. I'm sorry, I'm not a writer. Of course, if I were a writer, a reporter, or something very specific, then yes. But I'm a teacher. I'm a speaker. I make presentations. I need to think fast. And I think that's a much better skill than simply knowing words, okay? Of course that we need a combination of vocabulary and grammar, and we'll talk more about that. So the most common problem is that you let the fact you don't know a word affect you. So after the conversation is over, you feel like you failed and you couldn't find the words. So here's the thing you always need to remember. If you finished the conversation and the listener understood you, you found the right words. That's communication. Fluency is communication, not perfection. So the conversation is over. The listener understood your message, understood your request. There you go. You found the right words. That's what you got. And this is something that you need to change internally, because the more you tell yourself that you can't find the right words, the more this is going to happen to you. So the conversation is over. You answered the question. I understood what you said. Okay, you found the words. Those were the words you had to find. That's communication. That's survival. That's real world. Okay? That being said, perfect tip number 1, practice answering miscellaneous questions. Another problem that students find at this level is, teacher, I am a intermediate speaker. How can I improve my communication skills? Oh, variety. So what is a miscellaneous question? Very different, unusual. And you can do this in your practice, because quite honestly, it is difficult to find moments to talk to someone about something completely random, completely crazy, completely unusual. So you do that in your practice, because this will improve your ability to think fast. How do we become more creative? By exercising imagination. How do you think more quickly when you're talking to someone? By working on your ability to speak, but always focusing on something really different. Because the different question will create a shock in your mind. It'll make you use your imagination. It'll make you use your creativity. So if you stick to very simple questions, oh, how was your day? Oh, what do you like to do on a rainy day? Oh, what do you do at work? These are good questions. But in your practice, you need to shock your mind with something more unusual. And it doesn't have to be crazy, just unusual, just a little bit different from the typical questions you answer, from the typical conversations you have. That will raise your awareness and will make you think more quickly. That's why I do this so well. When I prepare conversations to my babies, to my students, I'm always trying to find different questions because I want to exercise their creativity. Okay? So here, the more you practice speaking about different things, the more you will teach your brain how to find the right words faster. And again, it's not only about words, it's about grammar. Thinking quickly will require forming phrases. And this is another challenge at this level. You are a pre-intermediate, intermediate students, even upper intermediate in some cases. Forming long phrases, connecting ideas, that's grammar. That's not vocabulary. Students make it a very general problem. Oh, it's the words. I don't know. Oh, that's grammar. That's a structure. If you can't form phrases, it doesn't matter how many words you know. You will not be able to put them together and your brain will freeze. So this is another point. And the other recommendations I'm going to give will help with the grammar part. So don't be discouraged, because when you start doing this practice, and I will give you 7 recommendations, 7 questions for you to practice this week, okay? 7 questions. When you do this, how are you going to do? You have to record yourself because you need to listen. You need to listen to yourself. And while you record yourself, make sure to have a pencil. Oh, it's matching. Oh my God. Make sure to have a pencil and a piece of paper, because what is going to happen at this moment? You will freeze. You will not know how to answer 100%. There will be words you won't know. But that is wonderful. You will identify your weak spot. And as you identify your weak spot, write it down. The words you don't know, search them. It's important to search the words you don't know. It's practice. And that way, you find the word you don't know, then you practice. You go back to the question and you practice and you record yourself. That's a very complete practice. You are answering a different question. You are pausing, you are recording yourself because you need to listen to yourself, and you will pick your weak spots, okay? That is a very, very important thing. And as you discover your weak spot, well, okay, I don't know this expression. Oh, I don't know how to form this phrase. This is a complicated phrase for me. Okay, that's wonderful. So I need to study a bit more grammar. I need to find inspiration. So that is a moment for you to analyze your weak spot and keep working on that. So here, guys, I prepared 7 questions for you. If the world ended today, what would you do first and why? Number 2, what is your number one tip for achieving goals more quickly? Number 3, if you could give Netflix any piece of advice, what would you tell them to do differently? Huh? Number 4, how do you react when people are surprisingly rude to you for no reason? Number 5, what do you think happens after we die? Number 6, if you were making a movie about your life, which actor or actress would play the part of you? Why did you choose this person? 7, if you could eliminate one human emotion, which one would it be? Why? And what would the consequences be for eliminating such emotion? These are different questions. I think I'm going to use this with my babies, And what are you going to do? You're going to think of these questions. You're going to grab the phone, baby. You're going to answer. And you will practice. And you will get stuck. Because it's a different question. You will need to think, oh my God, what emotion would I eliminate? That's so crazy. Sadness? But what are the consequences of eliminating sadness? Imagine a world where people never feel sad. That's awful. We need to feel sadness. But what would the consequences be? Why is it awful? Why is it awful? Why? So you see, you are instigating your mind. People don't do this today in society. They are not using their critical thinking. They stop at yes and no. Yeah, maybe, okay. They don't give explanations. They don't share opinion. You go to Instagram, you write a short explanation of 100 words and people complain. I make an introduction of 15 seconds and people get angry. They don't want to spend time connecting with information, connecting with people. You go to Twitter, you have a limit of 140 characters. What is that doing to society? You go to Instagram, the videos are 1 minute, 1 minute and a half. YouTube Shorts, 1 minute. What is that doing to our brain? It's eliminating critical thinking. We don't want to spend time letting the information sink in. And as a result, when it's time to speak, we can't form phrases because we are living in a world where everything is superficial, becoming superficial. We don't have to be. It's a general statement. I know that not everybody is like that, okay? I totally understand that not everybody is like that. But this affects our learning process. The way the society, the way the society is heading to is affecting the way we communicate, is affecting the way we receive information, the way we interact and view the world, okay? So these are the questions, recommendation for you. Number 2, we are going to put a little bit of pressure in your practice. I like this one. I call it the lightning round. Ta-da! What is the lightning round? This is usually used in games, okay? The lightning round adds pressure because I set a timer, okay? So let's say we're gonna play a game. Let's play a game, huh? I set 2 minutes. Okay, this is a lightning round. We're playing a game, and then at the end of the game, I set a timer, 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you have to name as many countries as possible. Go! Oh my God, Argentina, France, Italy, Japan, Indonesia, Brazil, and you have to finish 1 minute, and then at the end of the timer, I see how many countries you got. Then I go to my friend. And then we find the winner. That's kind of a lightning round, okay? Of course, depending on the game, there are different rules, there are different explanations. But typically, you set a timer. You have to give a certain piece of information within that time. That's the lightning round. But what do I want you to do? I want you to use tip number 1. Well, not tip number 1. I will give you something else, okay? I want you to practice paraphrasing, okay? What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is when I explain something I don't know how to say, okay? So let's say I don't know how to say this in English, okay? Oh, well, this is a container where we can put medicine in, okay? And I don't know how to say this. Well, I know, okay? I know how to say it, but let's say I don't know. Well, this is an object that is used to cover the container where I put my medication in to protect, to avoid it from getting ruined. So I put my medication inside a container and then I close it with this object, okay? And there you go. So I explained what it is. Do you want to find out what it is? Google it. So guys, that's the idea of paraphrasing. So I want you to use the lightning round with a timer, okay? And you have to speak, put a timer, record your voice. You need to record yourself. Always record yourself when practicing your speaking. You will set the timer, and I want you to pick 10 difficult words. Not very easy, okay? The words can't be too easy. Pick difficult words, and I want you to practice the lightning round. So here I suggested 10 words, okay? Government, longevity, castle, superior, extravagant, perfect, nightmare, goggles, scissors, disappointment. Excuse me, to disappoint. So these are the 10 words that I recommend to you. And you will practice the lightning round. Set 2 minutes and go explain the words. Oh my God, teacher! You will teach your brain to find the right words, the right explanation. And this is an exercise you have to keep doing, okay? If you do it only once, you will not feel the change. You have to be consistent with this practice, okay? Now, make sure to hit the like button. I have one more tip to give you. It'll be very helpful to you. And in case you're interested, I have an amazing study plan cycle that will help you organize your English study routine. If you have a bad study plan, you will not be able to improve your English. So you need a good study plan. And I created one that will teach you how to organize your English life, how to have a good study routine so that you can improve all your English skills. So check the link in the descriptions, my friend. It's a very good program, a very good course, okay? It's not my academy. My academy is not it's not open yet. I will open the registration very soon. But my study plan is very good. Now, guys, number 3, write more essays. So we need to cover all grounds here. I need to make sure that I help you in different ways. And writing can be a very powerful tool. So you will go back to the questions that I gave you. We can connect tip number 1. Tip number 1, practice answering crazy questions. All right, you did that orally. But now to really help your brain work on imagination, creativity, and thinking quickly, we also practice writing. Because when you write, you slow down. And it's important to be fast and slow. So you see, number 1 and number 2 will make you work under pressure. It won't give you so much time to think because you have to speak. They're speaking exercises. So you see, tip number 1, tip number 2 are speaking exercises. Tip number 3, you will slow down. We need to slow down too. We need time to process information. So I want you to pick one unusual subject per week and work on writing about it. But here's the catch. You have to be intentional with your choice of words. Again, I'm giving you another opportunity to work on imagination. You will need to find the words. You will need to Google the words you don't know. But be intentional with your choice of words. Instead of using like, find other options. Instead of using very, find other options. Intentionally. You don't need to know this by heart. You can intentionally choose the words, okay? You can use the questions I recommended, and every week you can write an essay, 300 words, minimum. It's your practice, 300 words per week. One essay, one question, that's more than enough. You don't need to write so much. Writing is not my favorite skill, but I write every week. Okay, so there you go, my friends. Get my study plan, subscribe to my channel. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.